Welcome to another episode of the Brown Bostonian Show. I am your host, Kevin Parrington Turner. I am back a little bit late. It is 6:21, but I thought it'd be best to still get it out because a lot has happened with the Celtics and the Patriots over the last week. I'm going to just start with the Celtics first, to be honest with you. Celtics continue to struggle against West teams. They beat the Clippers, yeah, but they lose to the Lakers. And the Lakers loss was bad. Honestly, they got blown out. It was 117 to 96. This happened Thursday last week against the Lakers on the road. Celtics shot 34% from three, and that's kind of been the story. They just haven't been making shots. The Lakers have been, but they still kind of got punked out with Anthony Davis still making shots in the paint. LeBron James didn't have to do much. The Lakers aren't that deep. Austin Reeves was doing what he wanted to do as well. They was hitting some shots that deep in the shot clock that you was like, oh, come on, give me a break. They couldn't get a break, especially on the road for the Celtics. But nonetheless, it was a bad loss, especially coming off of a Clippers win. You want to win those back to back, especially against LA teams, to let them know. And it's the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry. It's always going to be a thing. It's always going to be a big thing. But yet they couldn't get it done. However, on Saturday, the Celtics did beat the Mavericks. I will point out there was no Luka Doncic. Instead, Kyrie Irving had 22 points. He struggled. The Celtics, they did what they had to do. Tatum had 24. Brown had 22. Porzingis, 16, I believe, or 18. Derek White, 23. And Holiday was 17. It was a good game from that point. Hitting threes, making shots, passing the ball, swinging the ball around, playing defense. Of course, having no Luka Doncic hurt the Mavericks, but the Celtics were able to pull it out on the West Coast trip, which was still a big thing. So you at this point, you might be thinking this is okay, this is good, this is all right. It's not that bad. They're holding their own, but then against the freaking Rockets. The Houston Rockets, the Celtics lose 114-112. Dylan Brooks scores 36 points. Yes, Dylan Brooks, not Jalen Green. Dylan Brooks drops 36 points. That's crazy. That's insane. Amen Thompson, 33 points. Celtics shot 38% from three. I mean, it's not the worst to shoot like in the high 30s, but you want to shoot in the 40s if you're gonna throw up a lot of shots. You kind of wanted to shoot and make at least 40%. So it wasn't the worst of nights whenever the teams hit 30%, but it's for the Celtics, it's not the best. Jaylen Brown had 28 points. He led the Celtics. No one else really did their thing. Listen, I do think these last three games have been important just because the Lakers and the Celtics rivalry, always a big thing. So to lose that hurts. And then you got the Celtics and the Mavs. You beat them in the finals last season. No Luka Doncic, but you get a win. Okay. And then the Rockets, team with Coach Ime Udoka, who's having having this young team balling for the Houston Rockets, which I expected to. If you looked on the brownbostonian.com back before the season started, I had them as my dark horse. I think I had Coach Ime Udoka as the coach of the year because I do think they're going to be one of those teams in the playoffs that's going to be hard to beat because they play hard. They got shooters. Fred VanVleet, they got great guard play with Dylan Brooks as the toughness. And they kind of got it all around, especially with good coaching and good defense. So that's what it is with the Celtics right now. They got the Bulls tonight. They play the Pelicans Friday. The Pelicans that they beat by one, and hopefully that's done for the season. Hopefully we never got to see them again. And then the 76ers on Sunday and the Cavs on Tuesday. That Cavs game is going to be huge. It's going to be big. I will point out that the Celtics are 32-15. With the Knicks just a game behind in the third spot, Celtics on the second spot. Cavs are running away with it because they're playing really good basketball right now. So these games are important. This next stretch of games aren't cakewalks. 76ers aren't a cakewalk. Cavs aren't. Pelicans with Zion Williamson back, and he's trying to prove something, even though the Pelicans haven't been good all season. Doesn't matter. Zion's back, so now they're playing a little bit harder. Now they're playing for their jobs. And it's still at the point in the season where teams aren't necessarily tanking yet for draft picks. So teams are still playing hard, still trying to make a turnaround and make it to the playoffs now when guys get healthy and all that good stuff. So it doesn't get easier for the Celtics. It really doesn't, and we're not even at the All-Star break yet. And matter of fact, we're closing into the trade deadline, which is next week, February 6th, 3 p.m. And it has people questioning, should the Celtics make a trade? I don't think they should. I don't think they should. You got to think about how many games. It's been under 20 games with that starting five with Holiday, White, Tatum, Brown, Porzingis have all played together. It's that starting five, even last season, especially during the playoffs, they haven't played together. So it's been a little bit hard. It's been an adjustment. Payne Pritchard, his minutes fluctuate, which means his numbers fluctuate. His shots fluctuate up and down, so it's hard to get him going. Sam Hauser's been in and out the lineup, and his shots, the amount of shots he plays, the amount of minutes he plays, goes up and down. Al Horford, who's been playing great in the beginning of the season when Porzingis was out, and he was in the starting lineup. Now with Porzingis in, he's in and out. And he's also been battling injuries. It's just like little knickknacks of injuries, of illnesses and foot injuries and everything else. So the Celtics are in a weird place of just part of it is shots not falling. And some of it is the injuries. And some of it is these guys just haven't played with each other. I want to see Derek White be who Derek White was last season and the season before that. Lately, he has been a catch and shoot player. We haven't seen him take too many dribbles. He's been playing okay defense. He's still one of the best blocking guards in the league. He still does the hustling plays on defense out, but I want to see him do a little bit more driving to the basket, becoming a creator for other teammates. And I know he has it in him. He's a winner. He just wants to win. And I believe right now, Joe Mazzulla, they want him to just catch and shoot and play good defense, but he's more than that. He can do way more than that. I think that opens up the game for Tatum. I think it opens up the game for Brown and Porzingis if Derek White puts the ball on the ground and starts creating. Not saying I want him to do a bunch of crossovers and step backs. I just want him to take the ball and make a move with it and do a little bit more instead of trying to get either a sneaky layup, a second chance point off of offensive rebound, or just a catch and shoot. That's kind of what his game has been so far this season. Jaylen Brown, although he's still an all-star caliber player, we're not going to question that. And shout out to Tatum, shout out to Brown being an all-star. Forgot that. And being an all-star team. And right now, he's been consistent, and Brown has stepped up at times, but not the way we're accustomed to Brown stepping up. Against the Rockets, he had 28 points, but it was in loss. When we need him, he's I'm not going to say he's nowhere to be found, but he takes a step back into his role, which, in some cases we saw it last season and during the playoffs, but some cases we didn't. Against the Pacers, game one, it was Jaylen Brown who forced it to overtime. If I'm not mistaken, or it might have been game two. But nonetheless, at times, Jaylen Brown took the big shots. At times, it was Jaylen Brown who forced the issue and made a good pass or make a defensive stop. Right now, it seems like he's taking a step back. It seems like the load's really on Tatum right now. And although it's okay for that to be, because I do think he's that guy now, it's his team, I think there's too much talent going on in the Celtics roster, the Celtics lineup for this to be happening against these type of teams. Even the games they win, it's been close games, which obviously being defending champs, that's what's going to happen. Guys are going to give you their best shot, but you want to see a couple more blowouts. I want to see Drew Holiday get going. I know he's battling injury. He doesn't look healthy. He doesn't look full speed, but he's still defending fairly well, fairly decently, not shooting the best, not scoring the best. But when the game calls for it, he'll still knock it down. But long story short, these guys aren't doing what we've seen them accustomed to doing from last season. And that goes for everyone, even on the bench, even Sam Hauser and Payne Pritchard and Al Horford. Some of his injuries, I'm sure, guys in and out the lineup, which I'm not mad because there's no serious injuries right now. So I think in a sense, the Celtics are just kind of trying to survive through it, especially when you win. It doesn't seem like Tatum's going for MVP. It doesn't seem like Jaylen Brown's going for a first team All NBA. It doesn't seem like none of that, which I don't mind because I think it's a good sign of maturity and their mindset on it winning the championship. So I love that. But I would just like to see a little bit more out of everybody except Tatum. A little bit more out of everybody because Tatum's also defending a lot of different positions with Al Horford in and out the lineup, with Porzingis in and out the lineup. He's kind of been doing it on both sides. So I think there's just needs to be other guys to step up on the Celtics team. But yeah, I don't think the Celtics need to trade. We're just going to keep it that way. I mean, the Celtics are still second in the East, although they hold a tight, narrow lead over the Knicks. Yeah, so I can only imagine if the Knicks end up stealing second team. I still don't think the Knicks are a team that can win the East. Like I just saw them against the Timberwolves not too long ago. You know, they have their own problems, their own issues going on. I think by the time the playoffs come, all those minutes start to add up and injuries start to happen. I don't wish that, but I do think fatigue and injuries start to happen with so many minutes they play, and I don't see happening. But the Celtics still should be at the top. Still should be favorites. They're still my favorite. Is there concern? Yeah, there's still concern. They're not making shots, but this slump has been for a little while. I do think once they get out of it, they'll ring off a good 10, 15 wins straight at some point of this season before the playoffs start. And I am still happy that the roster's healthy. If you're a Celtics fan, you gotta be happy with that. They're still one of the top teams in the league, if not the best team in the league. But record-wise, they're one of the top teams in the league, and they're healthy. Can't ask for more. The identity's still there. Still have the same head coach that won the championship, same players that won the championship last year. Can't ask for more. So that's that. We'll see how they do against the Bulls tonight. Next, Patriots. It's the off season. Patriots were not good this season, but Josh McDaniels was named the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. I think we all saw this coming. Josh McDaniels, you know, with the Belichick era, he was with Tom Brady, the quarterback's coach, won Super Bowls, and he got a lot of praise. And he went over to Denver. Went over to Denver. Peyton didn't work out. You know, they did okay. Went to the playoffs 1 year, then got fired, and then came back to the Pats, then left and went to the Raiders, and then over at the Raiders from 2022 to 2023, he went 6-11 his first season, went 3-5 the second season, got fired mid-season in his second year, and that's that, you know. And now he's back, and now it looks like the whole gang is back. Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, offensive. I honestly would love to see Gerard Mayo as a defensive coordinator. I know O'Brien. I don't know. I've still got to figure out who if they're with the same defensive coordinator. But right now, I like Josh. I like the move putting Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator, or maybe even have him be a little bit on the quarterback side with Drake May. You see what he did with Tom Brady. It's a different type of quarterback. We saw what Josh McDaniels did with Cam Newton, who was out of his prime, who still played okay. Still played pretty decent when he was with the Patriots. When Josh McDaniels was came back to New England. So I like the move. I think this is a step in the right direction for the Patriots. It's a much needed step in the right direction. I think the draft too is going to help them a lot. I hope they get a blockbuster free agent signing from the wide receiver spot. I don't necessarily know if I want to see that in the draft with a high draft pick that they have. I want to see the Patriots get either a offensive lineman or someone who in the trenches who could really do something good. If they're able to get Travis Hunter, I don't see it, but that would be good too. But as far as like a wide receiver, a running back, I would very much want to see it going through free agency and signing a guy, which we have a history of not being able to do. I would love that. But yeah, Josh McDaniels, step in the right direction. I love it. And I hope to continue to see more of the same thing, old guys coming back to the New England Patriots and seeing what happens, especially a guy like Josh McDaniels with head coaching experience, with dealing with different type of quarterbacks, different type of programs, and having a lot of pressure on him. I would love to. I wonder why he wasn't the head coach for the Patriots, but he was head coach for Raiders and Broncos. I think that's interesting to see. Next, Drake May is heading to the Pro Bowl. Now, when I saw this scroll on my timeline, I was confused because I'm saying, didn't he only play like half a season? Yes, Jacoby Brissett started the season, but we all knew Drake May was eventually going to play. He finished the season 3-9 for this regular season when he did get to play 12 games. Finished the season with 225 completions out of 338. That's a 66.6 completion rate for 2,276 yards, 15 passing TDs, 10 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns. Listen, are those Pro Bowl numbers? No, but Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson couldn't make it. I mean, hell, we could say the same thing with Mac Jones, his rookie year. He was a Pro Bowler. Did he deserve it? His defense and running game kind of carried him through, and good coaching did. But nonetheless, he's a Pro Bowler, and I'm a New England fan, so I just want to say congrats to Drake May for making it to the Pro Bowl. His first, I hope, first of many. And honestly, when it comes to the Pro Bowl, it's not the same as it once was. I was watching clips on YouTube of like back when guys actually cared and they was actually still had shoulder pads on and tackling and running real plays and full speed instead of just wrap ups. And I think that actually deals better for the Pro Bowl. I think when guys go half speeds when you get injuries, but nowadays it's just a flag football game and no one really watches it anymore. I know I don't. I used to watch it. I used to love it as a kid, but not anymore. I used to love it after the Super Bowl. Because what happens is after the Super Bowl, for the guys that, they may have lost and it may be their last season or whatever, they want to enjoy the Pro Bowl. They might just be there. But now it's before the Super Bowl. It's like neither team from the Super Bowl is gonna be there. Even though you could make the case they wasn't coming even before that. But you still get some of those guys like the offensive linemen, defensive lineman guys. You never know. But the Pro Bowl isn't what it used to be. But nonetheless, Drake May, I mean, congrats for making it. Who else was going to make it if it wasn't him? Was it going to be Aaron Rodgers? Love him. But this season, no, it wasn't going to be him. Tua, no. Could you make a case over Drake May? Probably. Because the team did better. And Drake May didn't even play every game. But nonetheless, it is what it is, man. Shout out to Drake May. Also, shout out to the Chiefs for making it to the Super Bowl. They're pretty much my pick every season to make it to the Super Bowl at this point, and how Patrick Mahomes, one of the only quarterback to have 3 straight consecutive appearances at the Super Bowl, and he's already got 3 of them, going for a 3-peat, chasing Tom Brady's record. And I will say, as a Patriots fan, I see why people didn't like the Patriots when they was dominating. I see it now because it's a lot to watch. It's heavy to watch. Seeing the team just consistently win. And now the crazy part is it's to the point where it's not even exciting wins anymore. They're so accustomed to winning that it's not exciting wins. Like I watched the Bills game. It happened like they won exactly how championship teams win. It's not like a 10-point swing at the last minute, which we've seen Patrick Mahomes do early in his career. Now it's like, no, just a solid drive to go down late in the second half and get the lead. Defense holds on tight. We get a first down, so they have to use all their timeouts. We need the ball. We're going to the Super Bowl. There's no more excitement, which is great. Which is great for Kansas City fans. Shout out to them. But as a Patriot, that's kind of how we won for the past 10 years, was just really good defense and really good long drives with here and there really good plays. Now, as far as the referees going for Patrick Mahomes, do I think it? I was in the barbershop today talking football with my barber. He's a very big conspiracy theory guy. He says it's scripted. I don't think it's scripted. Now, do I think they protect Patrick Mahomes? The referees do? Yeah, of course. He makes money. And so does Travis Kelce having Taylor Swift up there every time they win a game. Every time he catches the ball, a camera goes to them. Don't love it. As a football fan and a hip-hop fan, don't love it. But I understand it because where would this league be without a Patrick Mahomes there? I don't, or Josh Allen. Who says Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson don't get the same love? They don't. But who says they don't still get love, more love than a Drake May might get? I think they do. So I don't want to say referees are just cheating for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are just that good. It's their era. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes found their groove, and I don't see too many teams stopping them. Although I do think the Eagles have a great chance of winning. I do. And I'm going to go off of just the strength of they've been there before. Jalen Hurts wasn't there when they beat the Patriots. But Eagles fans, they're used to it. Of course, Andy Reid going against his former team. And Jalen Hurts, he's been there at the Super Bowl. He's lost to Patrick Mahomes, the same team. Now he's got Saquon Barkley, who's been playing fantastic. If I'm a Giants fan, I am pissed. I don't want to watch the Super Bowl if I'm a Giants fan. I'm glad I'm not. But I think Jalen Hurts, I think this is his time. We're talking about Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. I think it might be Jalen Hurts because this season has been it's been the perfect story for Jalen Hurts to win. Because it wasn't exciting. There was still some issues going on with the passing game and Brown complaining and talking about getting the ball to him. And then they fixed it up. They get Saquon Barkley from the Giants, and quietly they stacked together some wins. They get some good wins. They beat Washington, dominated Washington. Exciting game. Washington's going to be great next season. And then they make it back to the Super Bowl. I think these are two veteran quarterbacks, two veteran teams that are just ready to go at it. Jalen Hurts, he's really good, man. And Barkley's playing amazing. Brown is playing amazing. I think the Eagles got a way better chance than they did before. Even before it was a great game. But listen, when last year against the 49ers, I could have told you there was no way 49ers was winning. It's all about the name of the quarterback. This year, I think this year might be the year for the Eagles. I do. Chiefs are always gonna be my pick to get to the Super Bowl out the AFC East for the next 5 years maybe. We'll see if it's any different. Hopefully the Bills can get one or two of them. But I think the Eagles got it, man. That's my pick. I'll let you know if it changes next week when I come back. But that's what it is, yeah. So Celtics struggling. I don't think they need to make a trade before the trade deadline. But we'll still see. Maybe they deal Pritchard, maybe Al Horford. I don't see it, but we'll see. Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator. I love the move. Drake May, Pro Bowler, even though what does a Pro Bowl mean nowadays? Doesn't mean much. But congrats to him. And that's it. We'll see you next week, where I'll try to see if I can dive any deeper to the Super Bowl and how the Celtics will do. Hopefully they beat the Bulls tonight. And that's it, guys. I'll see you. Hopefully I'm trying to do some more vlogs. I appreciate it. Log on to the brownbostonian.com. I'll vlog. I'll write more. Log into the APP, Asbury Park Press here in New Jersey. I appreciate y'all. Peace.